It's Paul again. Second Zorin OS video. I'm going to talk about Windows 11 and what's happening with that. And at the moment, it looks like Windows 11 isn't going to run on older computers, which is the complete opposite to Zorin, which seems to run on anything. There's like different flavors. So I've actually got an old Windows Vista machine sitting in front of me that I'm about to stick Zorin OS Lite on it to bring it back to life again, and then we'll find someone who needs it. So this is part of what I want to do, is recycle older machines that where Windows 10 kind of runs okay, but Windows 11 isn't going to run, and you know, the Windows world I think is going to be very challenged when you see things like Zorin OS. Just a couple of things that I've discovered since I've installed it. Firstly, I set up my Google account with Zorin OS, which was pretty cool. And if I go to my download documents, you'll see that that's my gaming machine there. But this here, that is my Google Drive. There you go, Google Drive, and it's absolutely seamless. That's not, none of that is actually on my computer. That's on Google Drive, so it's automatically set it up. You can see the look and the feel. This is actually running on a 2016 MacBook Pro. I'm running the virtual machine under. So this is how fast it is in a virtual machine using Parallels. Okay, because I still need to get some Mac stuff. I think there's a few things that Zorin have got to do, and I'm going to just wander around the system. There's all this interface stuff, and this is really cool. I'm into forex trading. I've been doing it for a long time. I've got a robot that I've built, so I'm actually effectively running Windows on Linux on Mac. Okay, so that's why it's probably taking a little bit of a second. This is MetaTrader 4. This is a Windows program, and I installed it on Zorin OS just simply by running the installer, and it installed it and it runs. It doesn't do that with everything. I tried a couple of other programs. One of them broke when I tried to actually use it, but I suspect with some faffing around I could actually make it work. So this is using Wine, and it's just very, very seamless. Talk a bit about the software you can get on that comes, is available through this little software catalog. It's like an app store. It uses 3 different repositories. You can see there's just masses and masses of software, but you'll find a lot of things that are kind of standard things. Spotify, there it is. AnyDesk, for those of you who do a bit of remote control, built in. Spotify. Okay, and a little bit, there's quite a few options. I was surprised to find this, Microsoft Teams, and that is the actual, the real thing from Microsoft, running under Linux. In fact, there's quite a few. There's some unofficial ones as well, but there's just loads and loads of software. Like if I want graphics software, I just type graphics in here just to see how much software there is. It's taking a bit to search. Piles and piles of graphics software, and actually, for someone who's installing from scratch, of course, it comes with most of the software you need built into it. Browsers, I've installed Skype. Here I use to access my work email because it's Office 365. I've got NetBeans on here because I'm a programmer by nature, and in fact I do have NetBeans running on the Mac, but I prefer to work on it on here. I don't know why, I just think it's the way that it uses the screen. Let's pull it up, give you a little view. That runs on Java, so I had to install the Java JDK, which is pretty easy to do. Remember, this is virtualized, so that's how it's performing amazingly, considering it's completely virtualized. There we go. So this is like opening projects. I've got other things you get. System tools, just loads of different things. Software updating is done in a far more gentle way than Windows and Mac put together. It doesn't force you to reboot. It doesn't, it's just much nicer. What else? Graphics, you get all this stuff with it. Drawing programs. So if you've got an older computer that's not really running Windows great and you haven't got any data on it that you really want to keep, it's worth trying out Zorin OS. Okay, because if you just dump Windows and put the Zorin OS on there. So this is a bit of code. Oh, there's my GarageMaster software. This is the actual source code to my GarageMaster software. There's pages and pages of it. So but you can see how nice it is to look at. All right, and this is a 2016 computer. It's a 2016 MacBook Pro. I wonder if, and so, you know, even pulling up things like Firefox. I've actually installed this on this Pentium 2 as well. Was one of the machines I installed it onto, which had got an SSD in it, and it was fine. It was well fast enough. So you can see Firefox loads pretty fast. You've got some things here. If you're a Mac user, you'll probably recognise this. Same sort of thing, all your apps stored that way, or you can do this, and I can see the apps I've got. You've also got virtual desktops. You're probably not used to that in Windows, but you can actually have multiple desktops going on the same screen, which is pretty cool. It's picking up all my things, all my settings are here. So there's no, you know, with Windows you have to faff around a bit. There's the settings straight there. It's got all my things. This is a really cool operating system, and I can't get enough of it. I'm literally, if someone comes near me with a computer, I'm like, you know, even when they do a hard drive upgrade and things like that, I'll upgrade the hard drive and go, by the way, do you want to try Zorin OS? And I give them a USB key with it on. I can just boot it onto that and have a look. I just think it's the future. I think that, you know, you can't force people to keep upgrading their machines when the machine you've got is perfectly good. And especially if someone's just doing, like, you know, Office, like word processing. So if you're doing, I'll just pull up the Office that comes with it, LibreOffice, which is perfectly good. If you're doing word processing, why do you need to spend so much money on, see how fast that was? Oh look, do you want to learn what's new? No, it's okay, I think I can work it out. So why do you need to shell out so much money for the Microsoft solution when open source means it's free? Okay, and you can, you know, sure, you can donate to it, and there's Zorin actually offer an ultra version of their operating system of like 30 quid. Okay, but actually you can get it free. You'll also notice this is in dark mode, so because I kind of like it for my eyes. If I go to Zorin Appearance here, there's a little app like this, and I can just quickly change it. Desktop, where's it theme? That's the one. So I can put it in light mode, and you see it's actually not very bright. But in fact, I might try that. Or you can have switching from dark mode to light mode. It's just nice little touches like here. Changing your font, what's your interface like, what am I going to have on my taskbar. There's all the settings for the taskbar, where I can have it. You can stick your taskbar at the top if you want. You can choose, I like everything on. I'm terrible like that. So it's a bit of a wondery round Zorin OS thing, but I think Windows 11 is going to be a big turn off to people, because most people, you know, cope with Windows because they don't know that there's anything better or different. This is a stock background, by the way. This is, so you can see all my work here. I just think everyone should try Zorin OS. Just, you can download the ISO, use something like bootnet in. I'll show you the website. So you download the ISO, which is basically a CD. Do you like that? There you go. So, and if you download this piece of software, it runs on Windows, Linux, and Mac. You can then actually, you click on this thing here, and you can select the ISO, stick your USB port drive in, and just write it out. And then you'll boot it, and then you boot your machine. Normally, you have to do F12 or F8 as it's booting up to switch, so to give it, to let it boot from the ISO on the USB key that you've made. Alright, and then you can try Zorin out without even installing it, and then you can decide whether you want to install it. And sometimes it'll install alongside your current operating system, so you can have dual boot, so you can switch from one to the other. Sometimes it'll install, it won't do that, and you need, especially if it's a smaller computer with not much hard disk space, you'll need to go ahead and install it over the top. But I do love taking computers that people have given up on, sticking Zorin OS on and giving it back to them and say, try this, you know, especially if, you know, if they haven't got any, yeah, look at that notification there, bit of news. Oh, I've also got my phone connected to this as well. In fact, my phone's connected to my gaming machine, but basically I get all my phone messages on my computer and I can reply to them, and it's unobtrusive. It works really well. Yeah, so if you look here, there's some notifications there. That's to clear the desktop. That's my notifications. I've got many notifications. I'm hoping to show you loads of them. Tells me all my battery information. It's just lovely. It's just such a nice operating system. So I hope I've convinced some of you to actually get a USB key, set up Zorin OS, and just have a bash at it and try it out and just see what you can do. I'm a programmer, so I use this stuff day in, day out, and it's brilliant. Okay, thanks for that. Sorry to bore you if I carry on, but I do have autism, and that means I tend to get enthusiastic about things and go on and on and on about them. But hopefully I've given you a good taster of the operating system. Cool.